it's Real Climb and you're watching another Supernatural review, and this is season 4 episode 3, In the Beginning. If you're new here, I'm doing like a recap and review of every single Supernatural episode, so let's get into it. So this is a good episode, and it's crazy because I forgot about it. I know in my head that there are so many good episodes of season 4 and season 5 of Supernatural, but then when I'm like, okay, what are the good episodes? Like a lot of them I can't just like remember, like I just can't. So like I always knew like there were some like episodes where they go back in time, but I just didn't think it was this soon. So I was like, started the episode, I was like, okay, what's happening? And then when I was like realized what this episode's about, I was like, oh my god. So in this one, he goes back in time to 1973 and he meets his dad and his mom. And it's a very much a Dean episode because he's in it and Sam's not in it. And so it's also kind of interesting to see back in the 70s like how hunters would operate. Like they didn't have the computer, like they couldn't do too much. It's kind of crazy, but it's also like this adds this whole thing, like his mom was a hunter, his mom grew up as a hunter, and like I think when you're just watching Supernatural, that blows by your head, you're just like whatever. But when you're analyzing Supernatural like this, you're like, wait, his mom was a hunter? Like this is a big deal. This is like a big point. Like this is a big thing that they added, and they couldn't just like add it lightly. It can't just be like a detail like, oh, Dean likes pie. Like this is a big plot point. This is big news, and I wonder like how they decided like this plot point. Like obviously like it could have happened because like she decided to give up hunting and she probably kept it from John, and so it's something where it's like, okay, like it would work, but I'm sure like there's probably people who in the writers room was like, let's not do it, like it, because it does open this door, like it's like adds this whole other thing where like they had no idea. And so I think this idea just kind of goes past you, and like maybe that's what they were hoping for as the viewers. Like we don't really like realize like how big of a deal this is, but like it is a big deal. Like they were hunters, like it's a big deal. And we don't know much about his mom's backstory, obviously, because we don't know much about his mom, and like he doesn't have a relationship with his mom. So it's kind of also interesting to see that and see like them together and like them talking and all of that element. I mean, obviously I need to talk about how we have now that Winchester show, which was the pre-series, I don't know, I'm losing the exact term. But obviously, like, John and Mary were different in that, like, the actors and everything. But obviously, that's a whole different story because John, like, knew about hunting. And so it's kind of the same elements where, like, Mary didn't want to be in hunting, but kind of John wanted to be in hunting. But obviously, we didn't see that with John here. But it's kind of, like, interesting that, like, it's so different. Obviously, like, if you watch the Winchester show, you would find out in the end, like, oh, this wasn't the same universe. But it's just like it's kind of weird to see. I think it's kind of interesting that like it's kind of sad and heartbreaking, and like you see that in Dane's face and his heartbreakingness of like this is what his mom wanted and she couldn't get it. Yeah, it's very much a Dean episode. Like Sam was barely there, and so it's kind of this thing where it's like, are we seeing more of a ship where like we're more of a focus on Dean? Like it's kind of like, I think it obviously would have not made sense with Sam there, like two of them there. And Dana's obviously the one that makes more sense. Like he's having more of the scenes with the cast, and he even says like, oh, Sam's not here. So it's kind of that element. I was always confused because at the end, like Mary makes that demon deal, but I was always like, she didn't die kind of the way that people make demon deals. And so it was kind of something that I finally realized this time. It was like, oh, only if she like doesn't go upstairs, like she, you know, she doesn't wake up or whatever it is, like she would have been fine, but because she does and go to the room, like he does take that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, like they had it be a demon deal and they had it be all that, like, and just I don't know. And it's kind of something that's confusing, was like this was to happen anyway, even if Dean was in there. Like why in the end did cast bring him there? Like I know why the writers want to do it, because they probably had this idea for a long time that they wanted to do it, and they saw angels as a way they could do it, but it still doesn't make sense why Cass was there and like Cass brought Dean there. Like did it have something to do with the seals? Like that part was like a little bit confusing. So even though I said this is a good episode, like there are a lot of issues I have with it, and it's something where it's like good episode, bad episode, and you got things in the middle. So I feel like it's, you know, on more closer to that good episode, but there are a lot of issues with this episode. But it was something where it's like, you know, you have this idea of like going back to see the parents, and like, you know, it's really hard to make that idea bad and the episode be bad, but it could go bad. It could go bad and it could be like a bad episode and everything. but it didn't, and it ended up being good. Obviously, it's kind of crazy that John almost picked another car and Dean was like, no, this car. But I mean, yeah, and then it's just like crazy to see how they interact. And now I feel like I'm forgetting things. Like, what did Sam do in this episode? Oh, wait. Dean, that's the whole thing, is Cass is like saying like, stop Sam, like with his like power thing or something, which is like kind of crazy. Like he had to bring him back to the family to like see the same thing. I don't know. I think I was confused. I'm gonna end it here, but thank you guys for watching. Comment your thoughts about it in the beginning, and bye.